Yo, what is up, internet? What's up, people? Let's see. So, hello, dudes and dudettes. Welcome to another nonsensical, or, you know, something that doesn't make sense stream by Jones. That's me. Anytime you have a person who has the habit of talking about themselves in the third person, you know you're in for a bit of a ride. This could either be very entertaining or very sloppy, or maybe both. I don't know. But today's goal is just to, you know, have fun, basically. If you're into this kind of stuff, maybe you understand. And then, of course, it's obvious that some people may be into this kind of stuff and still don't understand the way I do things. But I enjoy building computers. I enjoy building computers so much that it does not have to be the latest and greatest stuff, right? But I enjoy building computers so much that I really love the latest and greatest stuff too, right? Which is why I have 3 5000 series GPUs. I have the 5080. Well, it's not the. I have a 5080. I have a 5070 Ti, and I have a 5070. Okay, it's not a flex because I am paying dearly for my credit card indiscretions. Okay, but I did shuffle things around because there could have been other things I could have wasted money on, whereas with this, it's not as much of a waste because I use it, I tinker with it, I change computers, I move the builds around, I test, you know, I have fun with it, right? Rather than maybe buying something that's just not being used at all, which I have done with certain consoles that I have bought and I don't even play on them. That's different with the computer stuff. With my computer hardware, I've actually used this shit. So I don't know, maybe I am a PC person first and kind of console a little bit secondary. But the marketing of, like, I got sold on the PS5 Pro. Marketing got me, of course. But I haven't really used it that much. So that was a bit of a waste for me personally. Though as far as like me reviewing it, I think it's an amazing machine personally, right? If so much so that if I was into streaming as a hobby, and I mean it by a hobby, like what I do, not anybody that's looking to go professional with it, obviously, but if it was a hobby like it is for me, and I didn't really care for PCs and all that, I would definitely say PS5 Pro is a nice investment. It did very good streams for me when I used it. Gaming is good on it. You know, I typically will dial back resolutions on certain things because of either the monitor or the TV or whatever. So my experience with the PS5 Pro is very good, though if you're pushing it all the way to the limit of the 4K stuff on a 4K screen, etc., your mileage may vary, obviously. But for me at 1080 and 1440p, and for using it as a streaming console that I streamed from the console, it was very good, very fun. But this is where I get my money's worth. When I buy things for PC stuff, I tinker and play with it so much and use it so much that I get more of my money's worth over here than I do typically with most consoles, at least now. Used to kind of be the other way. I feel like back in the Xbox 360 days the original Xbox days, the PlayStation 3 days. I definitely got my money's worth on the consoles back then. But starting around the PS4 and Xbox One era, it just went downhill. And then by the time the PS5 came out and the Xbox One Series X, you know, horrible naming by Microsoft, but anyway, whatever. By the time those came out, console gaming is just, you know, I don't know. I don't have the motivation to use them as much. That might change once I get through all of these little projects. I don't know, we'll see. But anyway, Jones is going off on a tangent. So let's see if my webcams are working. I'm trying to share multiple angles. If I can find correct scene here. So what's up, dudes and dudettes? I'm gonna try to, I don't know, like lower the table or whatever from time to time, or whatever I need to do. This is the test bench setup that I made very quickly because I wanted to test, you know, a little bit the 1080 Ti, and I wanted to also test the 5070 Ti, make sure it was actually working before I went to the trouble of installing it in my main build. But, you know, I got that itch to build something, and rather than maybe spend money first, let's make a mess out of what I already have first, right? So I have this old CM Storm Trooper case here, and when I say old, this thing is old. I won't try to figure out the exact age because, you know, I'll probably be wrong. But this is probably one of the older cases that I still have in my rotation of, you know, playing around with, right? It has been in storage. I wish I could say, oh, let's find out what's in it. I don't even know what's in it. I actually do know what's in this. This has an old, this is the original X-Power motherboard. The Z87 X-Power by MSI. Which back then was a ridiculously overpriced and beefy motherboard. However, today's motherboards, like just your bare bones, you know, mid-range motherboards, cost the same that this cost, and this was the top of the line, top end board you could get at the time that this was new. So 500 back then to 500 now, what you get is completely different. Completely different, you know. It doesn't matter that a $500 motherboard smokes this one today. That's not the point. The point is, what do you get relative to what is on the market at the time? And back then, this was the high end. 500 was high end. Absolute maximum high end craziness, right? Whereas today, 500 is, depending on the brand, it might even be the low end. Right? So, let me take another swig of soda here. I need caffeine, right? Oh, man. Alright, so I'm trying to figure out, let's get some camera stuff set up. I know already, I'm just going to warn everyone, I will be tripping over these cameras. Don't you worry. I will absolutely be tripping on these. Okay. Probably we should start emptying this one first, so that we can just transfer these over. Most of the stuff that's in this one is not something I'm going to be actively using for a little bit. Like, I won't be playing with the X-Power for a while. It has some, the last I played with it was years ago. It had some issues that I would need time to troubleshoot, figure out, track down, whatever. So Not going to be doing that with these parts, so that means I can take these parts out and pretty much just gear them up for storage in some boxes or something. So I think I'll take this off the table. All of this hopefully will go in here. We'll see. We shall see. And let me put it somewhere where I can trip over it, because, you know, that's how we do. And I'm listening to the stream. To me it sounds okay, but please do let me know if you're having any audio issues with my stuff. Well, not if you're having issues, because I may not be able to help you if your stuff is not working. I can try, but what I mean is if the issues are because my audio is crackling or too low or something weird's going on. Alright, so how far down can we put this table? Let's move this. The camera's following me good. If you're curious about the camera, the brand I'm using is OBS Bot. And this is the Tiny 2, I think. It's the 4K one, Tiny 2. That's kind of where my memory about it is pretty done. Right. Okay. Let's see how far. Nope, that's up. Damn it. That's wrong. Okay, that's pushing it. We don't want to go further down than that. Okay. So you hear there's some stuff in here. Oh. What the heck? It's one of my son's blocks. Junior! Alright, not sure. So you should be able to see a little bit. I'm just gonna start taking the thumb screws off for these side panels. My goal is, and my hope is, that if I take all these panels off of this one, we can have a kind of fairly easy to move around thing, right? And then, you know, of course I got the blue tape on there. That at one time I was testing airflow, but then also for storage, I was hoping to keep things from getting in here, you know, who knows. Who knows the types of things that like to nest up into these things when they're in storage. Alright, so not the best lighting, my apologies, but here, if you're watching, this one, you'll kind of get the first reveal of the junk that's inside. Okay. Whoa, that's crazy. Got an 80 plus bronze 750 B2 EVGA power supply. I hope that's still good, because I'm actually going to use that on another build here. So hopefully that's a good one. We'll see. It's also a disk drive, Blu-ray drive here. I might keep that on here as well. I don't know, because if I'm on a test bench and I'm like throwing it around a lot, that might not be the best plan. Let's see. Do we have space? Yeah, we barely have space. This, I think, this might come off. I don't know. But we do have more space, I think. Slightly more than the box case. So that's whatever. Now we can take the top. We can pop the top on this mother sucker. Okay, and then, you know, this is old, so a lot of this plastic, we've cleaned it before. Mia Sposa came up with the plan and idea to use just like rubbing alcohol with some paper towels. And so it used to be worse, but this kind of stuff has a coating that sometimes gets very sticky. So it still has a little bit of that feeling, but it is better than it was. And then there you see it's a Trooper. Not sure how they didn't get sued for calling it a Stormtrooper. A lot of dust here. I think I'm gonna vacuum it. There's a ton of friggin' dust in this. What the hell, man? Let's see. See what we can do. I'll be right back. So when the camera loses track of me, it's pretty hilarious how it it like it freaks out. So I'm gonna hopefully leave it stationary. But I'll be back in a moment. I'm just gonna make sure if I can maybe procure one of the vacuums. Alright, so got a little bit of that excess off of it. Now switches back over. Is this the right one? Yeah, there we go. Alright, hopefully, yesterday I had some problems with my chat, so I ended up missing some chatters. Didn't see them till way late. Hopefully that's not happening today. I don't know what I would do if I had like a proper chat that was like kind of going. I would miss so much. It's crazy. But still, it's even worse when you don't have that many, and then either you forget the look or the chat. Like yesterday, the chat just kind of crapped out on me, and I didn't know it. It's crazy, man. Okay, get some of that stickiness from this stupid plastic stuff off of here. But you see, it does have a handle, you know, independent of the whatever that framing stuff that makes it look pretty, I guess. Well, used to. Doesn't really help it too much anymore. Alright, guess we can start taking some of this stuff off. Pop one of these lights over. Helps a little, I guess. Okay, where's my screwdriver at? Here it is. I don't think I need that, so I'm gonna actually take this out. Kind of an interesting little deal here. It's got little, like, I guess loops for your wires. It's kind of cool. I'm going to take a lot of this stuff off, then I'll step away again. I got to take it outside to like air dust it a little bit. First I want to get these things that are in the way off. For the air to just kind of flow. Get all that dust flying, man. All right. Okay. I think I'm pretty ready. That's the main ones. That way I'll whoosh, just blow the shit out of this thing. Maybe I'll take the panels too. So that will be another be right back. continue. Yo, what's up, David? Thanks for dropping by. What am I doing? I'm emptying this case. It's hard to see, but this is like an older Stormtrooper case that I'm going to gut it, and then I'm going to put another motherboard and, you know, a full setup in this. So just funsies, doing case swaps that don't make sense. Be right back. All right, that thing is heavy. What the hell? All right, so I guess now take all these off. All these things. Got a bunch of these screen things here. Probably have to dust those as well. There, see, it's an old CM. Fuck, where's the camera? Storm. Trooper. Turn off my flip-flops. Those things are loud. You gotta turn them off. You gotta take them off, but that's how you turn them off. You take them off. Okay, got all these fans here that are old. Got these things on them that are falling off. A little too easy. Got these hard drive cages the fans mount to. And they have, appears to be these kind of thumb wheel screws right there. Trying to take as much out of this thing as possible because it is heavy. Let's see. And these fans are wired up back here somewhere. And this thing has a ton of fucking wires, dude. It is crazy. There we go. So that's kind of like what you're looking at for a hard drive cage, and then the fans have like long screws that attach. Just slides in and out. So probably, if I end up keeping the cages in there, I'll probably, this is supposed to be able to, this hard drive cage is supposed to be able to rotate, so you can either have your hard drives go in this way or like this way to the case. So yeah, I'll probably change that, but I might even just leave them out so it's lighter. Okay. Same thing. Because see, all of these panels, if you can, they all come off, and then you can set them up however you want. But all of that adds weight, right? So the more of this stuff you use, I'm gonna put my hand through it now, the more weight it's going to have, which means the harder it is for your, you know, like for me, if I'm going to use this as like a test build or test bench setup, pick it up, put it down, stow it, pick it up, put it down, stow it. It's going to be a little heavier, which, you know, whatever, we'll see. We'll see what I do. If it cleans up good, maybe I don't care. It does have a lot of that. It has like a rubber coating, so to speak, spray on this plastic that when it's new feels really good. But that stuff doesn't last more than maybe a couple years, especially in human environments. So since this has been stored in, you know, different places, many of those places are humid. So if you keep it in your house, you know, probably not going to do that. But if you ever store these cases that have that kind of soft touch plastic coating on the plastics, all that shit is going to like turn bad. It's going to look like that when you try to clean it. It's just, it's such a bad idea. Whoever decided to paint these things with that. I think the reason they probably did it is because technically the plastic they're using is very cheap. But this was a premium case at one time. And so by coating it with that shit, which is, it's actually cheap, but it has a much more premium feel to it than just plain plastic, right? But, you know, I'm the type, I don't give a shit. I would rather have the bare plastic than that shit. It's just horrible, horrible, horrible garbage, man. Looks like some of this stuff, I think, pops off. But it seems like it's probably like really difficult to get it off. Alright, so the more I investigate this, the more it seems to me that I might just end up leaving everything on it. It's still like, for example, with all of that shit off, it's still heavy. It is still a heavy case. And then obviously your components, most of those are going to be heavy. Like, not all, but, you know, the motherboards that I'm potentially going to put in this are fairly heavy. The power supplies themselves are fairly heavy. So just those two things, and then if you add a GPU, that's going to be a little bit heavy. What I do dislike the most is just how many friggin' wires the case by itself has. Alright, but for a test bench, most likely I won't need a lot of that, so we can forego a lot of the wires I'm not going to need. Definitely not going to need the like the audio plug, and not going to need the front USB. I'm going to be only using what's on the motherboard. So all that could probably be like kind of wire managed and tucked away. And technically I probably won't even need the like the front what do you call it, on off switch stuff. I probably won't even need to plug those in, because I'll most likely be using the onboard power buttons. Maybe? I don't know. We'll see. This friggin' this motherboard is a little bit of a bitch sometimes. It likes things to be a certain way. Let's get this power supply out of here, because if this is the test bench case, I have another power supply I'm going to put in here. That's a lot juicier than this one. All these whatchamacallums, SATA cables here. Let's see, save these. That's part of the case bullshit. Take all that out. Okay, power supply should be ready to pull out of here. Yo, look at this thing, man. Check that out. 750 B2. That's an 80 plus bronze. You don't see the 80 plus bronze power supplies that much anymore. I think they just figure if they get rid of that, then they can charge a little bit more and force people to get the gold plus power supplies. Probably have to clean all these. got like a couple of different filters here. Get those all cleaned up probably. Alright, what else? Guess we can, let's get these wires out of the way. Oh, and shout out to the background stream that you can't see of the day. Little Uber Haxor Nova. Until I Rage on Dark Souls. Some Dark Souls games. He's on Dark Souls 2 at the moment, but alright, so look at the wires on this thing. Look at this. You can see it on the overhead. This is all of the case wiring. And then it's got one here off to the side as well. That's a little, I guess that's a little light, not necessarily RGB controller, but a light controller, I think. Let me see if I could show it with this. It's hard to see. Lighting is horrible, Jones. There you go, all of that. Yeah, so I'm hoping I can take most of this and just kind of neatly wrap it up and not use it, hopefully. Maybe even take this whole top panel off, maybe. It's just what I hate about that is if I end up needing it, maybe. But I could always like store it. Because this is all built in to the kind of top fascia, you know, to make it look cool. But it's got that plastic bullshit that's all sticky. So I think I would mostly like to keep that off. But, you know, of course, if I do that, then it does look uglier to the naked eye. I don't know. And then if I take this out, how much of a bitch is this to like reinstall? It's got like a mount here for something. What is that? No, that doesn't go to that. I think I could probably take this off. Let's experiment, shall we? Let's see if I can get it under the camera. Yeah, let's experiment. Let's see if we can take all of this horse shit out of here, you know, and then if we ever need it, then we'll use it. I'll just get like a Ziploc bag, one of those bigger ones. Just put it in there with its screws. I think these go to this. Well, we'll see. Let's just let's not undo that yet. I'll see. I think it does, because a lot of this you would want it to ground to the case. But you never know. Might just be case panels grounding to each other. I don't fucking know. It's also a good idea to do this to, you know, since it was in storage, make sure there's no bugs and nests of horrible things in here. Okay, yeah, those are grounding for this, which makes sense. That's fine. Good. Good. More stuff that can come off and hopefully get out of the way. Oh, well, you know what? Let me snap a picture of that. Snap a little picture. Even though I have the stream, it just sucks trying to find something on a stream. Okay, that's fine. And just a heads up, a reminder, I just came to my mind because I was looking at chat and I saw my bots. If you have any trouble chatting something, like something you chatted gets moderated or something like that, my mods are all very chill, like the real people mods. So if something gets timed out or something like that, it's probably one of the bots. So just let me know. And you'll actually be helping me out because you know, I want to like have those things set better, and some of their automatic shit is just way too crazy. Like it blocks things that don't even make sense sometimes. So, and that's on everywhere, whether it be YouTube or Twitch or Kick or whatever. What the hell is this thing? Oh, okay, so let's see. This is tangled. Let's try to untangle this mess. This goes there. What's this here? What's this one? This is another one. This is the USB 3. So it's one of these. Where's my USB 2? What is this? No, it's not that. Oh wait, does this one have two? USB 3? Yeah, it kind of does, and they're split. Why? I do not fucking know. What the hell? Why would you do that? Who literally designed it this way? What the fuck? The fucking fuck? Dude, you're coming out of there. I don't really give a shit. I'm almost to the point where I'll cut you out of here if I have to. So you can't really tell, but there is a bracket that is pop riveted that the USB 3, which is split off into two different USB 3 plugs. That one that goes to just one here is split and then separate it on the outside of those two pop rivets. So unless this piece, like if I can, because there's a couple screws on this side, if I can unscrew those and maybe it either slides out or it will bend enough. It's like stuck in there unless you cut or break something. That's just dumb design. Like, come on. Come on. Who does that? Legit. Who fucking does that? So I'm gonna take this out. This is just for the docking station for the you can put a little, I forgot what the hell those things were called. Kind of like hooking up one of those 2.5 SATA drives. It just slides in there. So let's see if it separates, if it comes out of here enough. Okay, so it slides towards the front. Okay. I almost feel the same way about this. Like, I'll fucking break you if I have to. I don't want to, but if I have to, I will. Let's see. What other mechanisms does it use to latch it down? Does this whole piece have to come off? Maybe it does. Because it won't go through there. Dude, it's so hard to fucking figure out, like, what is it? There's some screws on the top there. I'm hoping we're getting closer to getting this shit out of here. Oy. Oh, that's for the PCB, the circuit board for this damn thing. Where the fuck is it? Right there. Can't even fucking see. I don't want to fight with the freaking Blu-ray player right now. Can you... are these hand tight? Unscrewable? Yes. They are. Only part that's a little difficult is like the angle, but they're not Hulk smash torqued in, so that's good. Uh-oh. Okay, here we go. So these came out first, and then this. Can't find the fucking screw. Line up here. I get it? Almost. Come on now. Okay, so you got one more at the top. I think this is the last screw for the PCB. Oh, great, I lost it. Where'd it go? Where is it? Oh, it's behind this wire. There we go. Oh, great. That one's Hulk smashed. Oh, nope. No, it's not. Just gotta line it up. Right, so 3 for that PCB. There it is. So this is the PCB. It's just a SATA, you know, like an easy hot swappable like bay at the very top, where you can slide like a 2.5 SATA there. But you could definitely like put this somewhere else to make it for even the 3.5. But where it's at, the little sliding bay it has, it is only for a 2.5. Now, is that all we needed to get this thing free? Because I'll slightly take back what I said if we can now get this out. Ow, finger. Shit. Uh-oh, I gotta sneeze. Oh, I think I saved your life by muting. Ooh, that was close. Get my nerd light here. No, more fucking pop rivets. Oh, of course, nerd light is gonna make noise on my mic. The flippin' flip. What's the point of it screwing in there if it doesn't release itself? Yeah, it feels like you got to take these off to take this framing. So let's try that. So at the front, there's top screws that might help release this frame a little bit. That maybe we can bend it and then slide that out from the front here. Okay, there's probably pop rivets and all kind of shit on this thing. Like, why not? Here's a thought. If you're gonna use some screws, why not just use all screws for, you know, these type of things, you know? Maybe the handle, I get it. Pop rivet that. Okay, fine. Fair enough. But like all of this, why the hell would you fuck around and have some of it be screws? And then the rest is pop rivets or some kind of fucking weird. Okay. Oh wait, there's a couple of screws right there. Dude, what the heck? So on the front, this little bar, there's a couple screws in there that hold this front framing on. Now will it slide up and out with this darn thing? Maybe? Yes. Ooh, baby. All right. So this was what all the trouble was about. Just this front plastic frame. And there's a little top docking bay that goes to that SATA PCB attachment there. It's got that plastic coating, so it's sticky. It feels like, you know, when you spill soda and you forgot that you spilled it and you don't clean it up, and then, or you only clean it up a little bit, but then you go back and it's like all fucking sticky. That's what this plastic coating feels like. But anyway, there's the part that I couldn't get out without the front coming off. And then now it still looks like you cannot. I'll show you. This is ridiculous, dude. So after all that, it appears potentially that there is still part of the frame, you can barely see it back here, that is in the way of the split USB 3 cable, right? And that part is pop riveted. Right? But you know, I mean, it's better than being welded, I guess, technically speaking. But again, I know it might be $1 cheaper per build maybe to pop rivet things. And maybe they find that they get less complaints of like the rigidity not being strong, or maybe it feels tighter because, you know, people don't think, most people don't think, well, let me tighten the screws if it feels loose. But like for things like this, just make everything that's in the way of disassembly, make all those things screws. And then if you want like anything that's just the main frame of it, you know, that's fine. Pop rivet that shit or weld it or whatever. But this is insane. I'm befuddled. Yo, Live Blanket, what's up? Thanks for dropping by. Appreciate it. Okay. So now, again, what I'm talking about is, you know how your USB 3 cables, they split right here, and because this thing has the USB 3, they wanted it to be all symmetrical, so they got one there and one there. So that means it splits the cables, right? But then, because it splits the cables, they're going on, and the way they installed it, they put it on one side each, and then they pop riveted this piece in after. It's crazy. Absolute craziness, man. Why? Why do that? That's what they talk about, like what's the repairability score? That makes it lower. 100%. Okay, so I'm gonna take these out. That means I gotta take more things apart. These are technically screwed. They're screwed and hot glued. I don't know if you can see. So these different ports, all of these are screwed and hot glued, but luckily it's old, so I'm sure the hot glue is not as good as it once was. I ain't as good as I once was, but I'm as good once as I ever was. Let's see if we can get by with just one of these. Nah, fuck it. We'll take them both out. I don't give a shit. And then hot glue or no hot glue, we'll use this cable by itself. You know? The glue literally falls out. You see that? That's cheap hot glue and humidity. Oh, wait, this one's holding on. Oh, okay, never mind. It wasn't the glue that was holding it. It was something else. All right. Let's take this. Hopefully. Okay, yes, sir. All right. So because I didn't have to cut anything, my rating goes up a little. So from 1 star, I'll give it a 3 star. Just because I didn't have to cut anything. And now if it was new and that hot glue was holding strong, then I'd probably give it 2 stars. So that's good. I'm okay with that, I guess. I'm okay giving 3 stars, knowing that I don't even know if you could still buy this case. Maybe you can, I don't know. Get all of this wire. This is a fuck ton of wires, dude. Look at all this. And this is without the USB 3 ones. Some massive wires. Wow. I mean, you know, it's functionality. It's all there. You get a, what is that? Basically a SATA connection, kind of like a FireWire style SATA. Right there. Let's see. Yeah, right there. You get a couple USB 2. You get the hot glued and screwed USB 3s that I took out. You get multiple grounding to the case connectors. You get some LED lights. You get headphone and microphone jack. Get more LEDs. You get a power switch, of course. You get your fan LEDs on or off switch. You get your fan speed up and your fan speed down switch. What else? And then the aforementioned slot for your 2.5 SATA drive. that you can hot swap in and out. What? You know? It's a lot of wires that hopefully I don't need. Hopefully this motherboard is okay with just using its own onboard power switch that they sold. That was one of the things that sold me on that. You can see some of the hot glue in there. It's like little strings. I thought it was like cobwebs at first, but it's hot glue. It just kind of went everywhere. Okay. Where the hell am I going to put this at? I'm going to put it here for now. See that bundle? Fucking wires, dude. Dude. Okay. It's still heavy. You can still get a fucking decent workout. You know, it still has the motherboard in there, of course. So we'll work on getting that out. Now, do I want that panel back on? I don't know. Maybe I'll leave that off for now, because I probably should clean it. So let me put these screws back on so that we don't forget where they go. Okay. These two go right here. Hopefully they don't scratch me, because they kind of hang down when you screw them all the way through, so I can just see me trying to hook something up, reaching through, and it fucking scraping the shit out of my arm. These go to this. Holy shite. Maybe if I put the ooh, that was close. If I put the Blu-ray drive to the top, yeah, that way it'll protect me. Let's do that. Let me lay this son of a gun down. In the future, when I work on it, don't fuck around and smash into that. Hopefully it doesn't get in the way of the friggin' AIO, the rad that I put to the top. Oh, there's a couple on that side. What the flip? Alright, let me see. I have a little dust rag. Let's dust it off a little bit. Hopefully nothing's inside of it. Damn bugs and shit. Yeah. Yeah. So that should protect me, right? Okay, good. So let's do those top screws in place first. Oh, that one's fine. Let me see. These can't really show you in there, but there's screws that have to go that kind of mounted the PCB to those T-bars or whatever. I'm just gonna put those back in. Can't really friggin' even feel around that good. Oh, got one. Okay. See. And two. So I almost thought about keeping this slot because for my test bench OS drive, it is on a 2.5 SATA. But the more I thought, I was like, hold up, if I do that, it has to go through the PCB. So I always think like the more direct your connection is, the better your performance and speeds are. And stability and dependability and all that kind of stuff, right? So I was kind of like, nah, I better not do that, because potentially, what if that PCB has problems? And then also gives you another potential spot of shorting things out, because, well, I mean, you can see there's that. It's a cool thing to have. So I'll keep it in my box of one day I might need it. But for this, I'm probably not gonna screw that. I don't want to risk it. It's more wires, because you gotta, and then you gotta run a wire up there and all that crap. So I don't want to do that. Alright, so those wires go there. Now, gotta figure out, see these two go down here. Right there. Again, we want to be able to find these, and I think, wait, no, it goes here. What the hell am I doing? It goes right there. Right? Let me see. Where's this thing? Where does it go? Yeah. So it goes up there. Not sure what the heck this is for. I don't remember actually. More spot for me to get cut reaching for wires and shit. Okay. This is for the Blu-ray. This is for the mounting of this thing, right? How many fucking mounting points did it have? I guess it had 4, and then 2 extra for the Wait. I think I did this wrong. This doesn't go here. I did this wrong. So this unpainted spot, obviously, and it just makes sense. That is definitely something good that they did. That is for the brain. Come back to me, brain. That's for the grounding, you know. So that was a. Otherwise, if the paint's too good, it's not gonna have a good ground. But now we know pretty much where everything goes, because it will be there when we come back to it. Wait, what the fuck? Hold on. This is the power supply stuff. My bad. Put that over here. These are the one that I had for the Blu-ray. Okay, hopefully nothing's in the way of whatever I just did. Blu-ray players up here. Okay, and so the Blu-ray player may, if nothing else, just serve as a protector for me not to get scraped by those damn screws. Screw these all the way down so they stay in place. almost ready, or maybe we are straight up ready to take the motherboard and AIO out. So one thing I have to be careful about this case, I have to remember when I put any other motherboard in it, is there are spots that potentially touch certain motherboards, or it could just be this X power board is not a normal eATX. It's not your normal E-ATX. It's something I think MSI kind of came up with, or maybe it's only in servers, but it's called XL ATX or ATX XL, and so it is slightly different than eATX boards, and so it may just be the case where this PC's this case is like, you know, punch outs, you know, it goes up to eATX, but some of the stuff might be a little bit off, and because something touched at one point on this board and shorted out a couple things. So hopefully I don't go through that again with the new board. Like I said, I will have to remember so I don't fuck around and find out. So let's go through all the jank. Let's get rid of some of this. So I made my own spacer. I don't know, man. I don't know why I do the things that I do. Keep these separate in case I end up using them on the other board. You know, sometimes these screws, they only fit good on this one fucking spot. So I should have like spaced them out exactly how I took them off, but oh well, I forgot. It's too late now. Oh, missing one right there. Dude, yeah, see, this is like I said, this is an XL board, so it has extra in both directions. I think EATX is only in one direction different than ATX, but this one, both dimensions are more, if I remember correctly. And this is probably one of the heaviest fucking motherboards that I've ever dealt with. Which is strange because I've had motherboards that had this doesn't have a back plate, I'll show you. And it does not have one of these crazy shieldings that go across all of this. But these are chunks right here. These are real chunks. These heat sinks all the way around. And this one's pretty heavy too, but these are where a lot of the weight are. And I even took off, there's a covering that's here as well. I took that covering off. That added more weight. The reason I did that because I wanted easier access to the Wi-Fi module. This is probably one of my favorite motherboards of all time. But you know, a little outdated, and like I said, it needs troubleshooting. Track down a couple problems that could be CPU, could be RAM, could be motherboard, could be multiple. Alright, let's get this out of the way. One last look-see. Won't see it for a while. Now we got to start uninstalling the motherboard from that other case. I think this is pretty much ready to rock and roll. And this is still a solid case. Like I don't know. Like, see, it's, you know, it's pretty thick. It's probably, I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm sure it's not the thickest ever, but that's a fucking thick piece of sheet right there, right? Not your typical other stuff. However, I believe this is steel. And so if there's any spots that are unpainted, you will short things out. if it gets touched. If there's any like scratches that get to the bare metal, which maybe a lot of cases have that problem, but I feel like there are some cases that use a different metal that's not as problematic. In fact, I would love it if, I don't know, I say I would, but you never know, like maybe it's really poor quality, but if they made a lot of that part, at least that part, like the motherboard mounting tray, if they made all that spot on PC cases, on all of them, make it with some kind of non-conductive metal, and I don't know which ones would be good quality or whatever, or good rigidity, so I don't speak on that, but maybe it's too expensive, I don't know. But that would, because I've had things short out, and oh boy, is it a sad day when that happens. All right. Oh, and this one's pretty heavy in and of itself. Alright, so I'll start taking all these panels off again. Take the old OS hard drive out of here. We'll switch that over to the new setup, hopefully. Let me undo this so I don't accidentally snap it off, potentially. Pop this. But also by doing this, I can potentially test an even older motherboard and CPU setup with modern-ish GPUs, right? All the way up to like a 5070 or something, perhaps. I mean, this is definitely not the best test bench for like an EATX like this board, so we're doing the right thing. We're definitely doing the right thing here. Let's see. Let's get this out of the way. What the hell? Bitch, that's fucking difficult to fucking undo. Gonna take this out of here. There's our little 90-degree 24 pin. Right, this bad boy. Ooh, the caffeine's kicking in, man. It's starting to kick my ass. Ooh, goodness. And then we'll have a up exhaust out of the case kind of setup, I think. Yeah. Push out. And undo these. Where's this one? This the fan? Yep, that's the fan there. Oh, cool. That way. I'll hit this. So fine. see if we can finagle it out of there. Where is it? Where is it? It's stuck somewhere right here. No? Wait, what? Got it. Get these CPU connections off of there. That goes to, okay, that could stay. Where the flip? Where's this one at? Yay, there we go. Nice. Okay, we're almost out of this case. Almost. We'll take the fans off. That should release the radiator. Let's turn it this way. And then we can come back and get the power supply after we move the motherboard and liquid cooler over. Let's go ahead. Ooh, my back is hurting. Does not like this angle. Now, should I line these up the way they come off, or what? I don't know. Maybe. You know what? Yeah, let's do that, because this was a pain. This one was a pain, I remember. So let's see. We'll do top to bottom. Our little magnet thing here. So bottom. So the other motherboard won't need quite as many screws, but just hopefully having the first attempt, I'll know which one was good where. So that'll be good. Make it easier on myself. Because the motherboard I'm putting in here is it's not a micro ATX. It's what, they don't even use the designation they should for it. because technically it should be something like a slim ATX, right? It's just slightly less of what an actual ATX measurements are. Where the hell? I need that other screwdriver. And now I don't know where the fuck it is. Oh, here it is. Plenty of spam from Jones bots in the chat, just the way I like it. Okay, so these, top is the Racco. Okay, that's for this case. So let's just put this with this motherboard here. Alright, so this is loose, this is ready. Fuck, stupid thing. It poked me, ouch. Alright, so let's put this down. Let's make, hopefully, some space for the other case here. So, because now we gotta see if this thing will actually line up. If not, then I gotta move some of these around. I don't remember actual layout. I do have this, whatchamacallit here. You can test with, this is a really cool thing that EVGA, or should I say Kingpin, and EVGA did, where I don't know if it's all, but as far as I know, every dark motherboard that I've ever heard of, you get one of these. It's a PCB layout that you can also use as a test bench, because it comes with standoffs that you can use. You can screw into this and then mount your motherboard to it. But what's convenient for me is not only can you look and see where the controllers are, you know, do they go to CPU or chipset or whatever, but you can also see the mounting screws. So you can check cases to see if you need to move your standoffs. You know? It looks like we're good to go. And you can see that this is an eATX motherboard that we're about to put in here. Okay? So eATX means that it is wider than ATX, right? So ATX, you know, stops like pretty much in line with that, right? And then maybe a slight more overhang on the bottom as well. So a lot of ATX will just be this right here, right? Maybe even, and then your micro one comes down to whatever the fuck it comes down to, right? But that fucking XL it's different. It comes all the way down here. It's fucking insane. It is so crazy. I haven't even seen the XL anymore. Alright. So we know that we're not going to as far as I can tell, we're not going to touch any of these standoffs, like, you know, except for where the mounting points are. And I don't think I see anything punching through. This case has some stupid SSD mounts on the back. Yo, what's going on? Cobus. Oh, just swap case. Just a funsy case swap. So I almost bought a new case. But I have this older one laying around. And it's mostly for just like testing stuff. And I have another build I need to make for like another setup in the house. But it's a much older motherboard. And I didn't want to buy a brand new case for any of what I'm doing. This is just test bench stuff for silly things. So I'm going to swap into this old CM Storm Trooper case. And then the other one I was showing earlier that the motherboard's coming out of, that one's going to be for that older build. That little Cooler Master box case will just be like an old build. Throw some things on there I have running for the house. And then this one I'll be able to, you know, just put multiple GPUs or whatever the heck I want to do. Alright, I'm going to try to move this over without breaking anything. Appreciate you coming by there, Cobus. So easy, easy, easy. Careful. Careful, Jones. Let's see here. It's such a big case, but then also it's not the most roomy case because of this extended crazy hard drive, CD drive fucking cage thing on the side here. Technically you could probably, like, if you want, you could drill these out or cut these out maybe. It's pretty thick sheet metal though, so you know, you might need a bit of a beefy cutter and you'll lose some of that strength of the case. But if you wanted to, you could open this up, chop this fucker up probably. But I ain't gonna worry about that. I think worst case scenario, I would use Razer cables if I put like a long GPU in it or something. And then if it's not too thick this way, like towards the side, I could probably like put it in. So this is not the biggest GPU, obviously. It's just a 5070. But even this 5070, you can see, like, is there. But you can always, you know, put it like this. And then as long as it's not something extended out, like some kind of crazy cooler block on it or fan setup, you can go this way with a longer GPU. Just kind of sucks that you got to kind of like and then do that. Let me tighten up these feet here. Alright, I think that'll be alright. So let's go ahead and see if we can mount this motherboard appropriately, I hope. There we go. Kind of got these lined up. Where'd I put all those? Oh, good there. These screws are working good. In the front? Let's see. I believe you can put, so with the cages that it comes with, you can put 3 120 fans on the front here. Well, technically 2 with the cages, but if you don't use the cages and you like mount it just on the side here, there's like a panel. I don't know where the panel is, but there's like a panel. It's almost like a hard drive cage delete panel. I forget what the heck it's called, but you can put a panel on the front, right here on the front, and then you could put 3 120s. But if you use those cages, it has 2. And I'll show you the cages here. So this is what I'm talking about. If you use these cages that it comes with, you get 2, and they have a kind of a, it's not super crazy, but it is proprietary, so to speak. Like you gotta get some long screws that screw into that to use their red LED fans that they have. But if you use that other panel, which unfortunately this has been in storage, I don't know where that panel is. If you use that panel, you can mount regular 120s, and then you'll be able to get 3 in there. And then of course, you know, many a time I have done the old zip tie solution, and then with a zip tie solution, you can get 3 140s on the front of this if you don't mind a little jank. So when I use this for my main setup, I like it to look cleaner. So I would not go that route. I would just use like the cages. But if I was going to use it for like a server, because of all the mounting you can do with the hard drives, I would keep the cages so I could have as many hard drives as I want in here. And I wouldn't mind a little bit of jank in that case, because I would put it in the closet or whatever, wherever I want to set up my server, like out of sight, and then I would zip tie 140s on it personally. And then it has these side panels for both sides. So I have them taped right now because of storage, but it has panels on both sides that you can see you can actually mount 120s. And potentially this one, it doesn't have mounting for 140, but you could fit a 140 there, but you would only be able to get like maybe 1 or 2 screws in. But anyway, you can put fans on the side. All of that increases the amount of wires you're gonna have though. And it's hard to find this case. Like maybe I just haven't been looking lately, but this is the CM Stormtrooper full tower case. And probably have much newer version of this, but like this specific version, it's hard to find. This is an old one. Yeah, you could see. Yeah, you can see how you could get a 140 in there if you wanted. Just you know, obviously just a matter of and you know, there's probably ways to like make it clean. You know, I'm just being kind of silly with my zip tie BS. You could definitely do something that's not zip tie, I'm sure. For, you know, you handy dandy fellas out there. I'm usually a little less patient, so. Where the fudge did I put Alright, let's see. Will this fit through there? Let's see if we can get this one to go. Yay, that worked. Oh man, cool. Alright, that mounted in just fine. I think we're okay so far. So I don't need the rest of these. But I will put them down here maybe. So keep these with the case. Ow, son of a bitch. Cracked my knuckle a little bit. The fuck? Doo doo. Bam, bam, bam. There's gotta be another spot I could put this last screw so I don't lose it. No? Maybe, maybe. Maybe not. Maybe so. Maybe yo. See if it will stay in place right there. No, it's too. That's okay. We don't care. Put you back over here. Alright, now do I put it this way or this way? Ooh, that feels too tight. Okay, I think we'll go the other way then. Get all the bubbles to come up, hopefully. There we go. That should work. Well, then it kind of covers the... Yeah, I don't want that. Now we're going to try to put it completely out of the way here, so we can see all the lovely errors over here on the error codes on the debug, and we can see whatever this thing chooses to show us. Now, definitely we'll have an exhaust. We should have room. Let me just kind of double check. We should clear fan. Yeah, that's fine. And we'll have those push. Okay, mount it like that. Screw from the other side. Yeah. Okay, we're good. So, let's try to get fans mounted. Where did I put all those screws at? Just put that there. Oh, thanks for the follow, Ava, over on Kick. Appreciate it. Appreciate it, fam. Let me see here. What the fuck did I do with those? Oh, here they are. Oh, you'll have to forgive me. my brain ain't all there right now. I started out with not enough caffeine, and that was my problem. Now I think I've gotten too much. So we'll keep the wires going this way. So technically, in my opinion, a 240 is not the best to combine with a with a 5950X, which is what this motherboard has on it. Those can get hot pretty fast when you overclock them. They're not too bad if you just run them, you know, stock settings or whatever. But if you or your motherboard decides to overclock it, you really, in my opinion, you definitely want to like move up to a 360, and a good one, because you know, a bad 360 versus a good 240 they might actually equal out. So you don't want to get something like really shitty per se. But I would recommend like an Arctic branded, like Liquid Freezer 2 or 3, depending on your motherboard. Pay attention, because some motherboards do not like the Liquid Freezer 3s, like water block. This kind of is a tight fit. And then others don't like the Liquid Freezer 2, but most of the time one or the other will work on your motherboard. And definitely, if most of the time the Arctics, I haven't checked prices in a month or so, but when I was shopping for Arctics, their 420 millimeter AIO was not much more than the 360. And then, as you know, obviously you got your size of your case and all that to like consider. But if you can fit a 420 and you have a 5950X or any CPU, I don't even care if it, just get a 420, dude. Why not? If it fits in your case. If it doesn't, then get a 360. And if that doesn't fit, get a 280. And if that doesn't fit, then yeah, get the 240 or an air cooler. But for a 240, actually, it feels like a lot of times, like air coolers, you're right around that level with 240s, in my opinion. So it's just sometimes then you run into size problems with those air coolers as well. Like that becomes an issue as well. So just depends on your case, I guess. But my tangent is basically chastising myself for not having a bigger AIO for this 5950X. Especially since I do use the motherboards like overclocking stuff on this build in different cases. I've already, you know, this is not new, this is just swapping things out. Yay, look at that. That is pretty damn good, I gotta say. How about it? Wait, what? Okay, so that can go down here. This will go back here. Alright, now we gotta turn it around so we can fight to find the appropriate mounting screws. Put this bad boy in here. Looks like this would accept a 280 if I wanted to upgrade. So I might look into that in the future if I continue to use this as a test bench. But for now, we'll deal with it. Okay. So. Oh gosh, I might sneeze. Let me mute up. You know what? That is, man, that makes it so tight on there. Another thing about this X570 Dark motherboard is that it, for overclocking purposes or whatever, it rotates this CPU and RAM areas, right? Which also kind of rotates some of the VRMs, and which changes how coolers mount to this, like, and which orientations you're able to like get out of your mount. I think it's possible to like flip this potentially, where the barbs for the lines would be down here. But depending on what kind of case you put it in, it's a little bit, you know, iffy. I'm trying to think if I should change. It's just I want to be able to see that those debugs and this very clear. It just, man, it's just so tight. So that is just one of those things where, you know, these things are not indestructible. I don't know how far this goes. So we got all these wires here. Hey, we'll go with it. We'll see what the Lord and what the universe has in mind for us. And screw tighten these up a little bit more. Okay. Boop, 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 boop. Let's keep looking for these little mounts here. Alright, so we're all locked up here. Very good. So then these wires, they'll end up going this way, I suppose. This one can kind of hang back this way, I guess. And I could probably like wrap these up so that they don't look too bad. Maybe I could even put these to go up. Let's see, how long is the USB one? Got a pretty good reach to it. Might be able to go down and then come back up, maybe? Yeah, I don't know, maybe not. This. Let me test this out first. Let's test what kind of reach we have with the USB here. Well, kind of looks okay going sideways, so I'm gonna end up doing sideways and instead of trying to go all the way up like that. Then you could pop it in like this on the bottom here. And then I gotta remember to use Revo uninstaller to reinstall the NZXT thing. Let's see. Yo, Bean! What is up? Mr. Prime. Prime time. How's it going, dude? Oh, man, thanks so much for coming by, dude. How are you? I'm doing alright. Sorry, I'm, you know, as per usual, I'm slow as fuck. Oof. The only thing I'm not doing good with is my back and neck do not like this kind of work. Let's see. Probably will go through there. I think all of these will just go through here. Screw it. Let me stand it up so we can it's just this small nothing bullshit, like trying to fucking like run the wires and all that shit, and then you're like at that perfect angle. Just surviving. Damn, dog. Yeah, man, things can be tough, dude. I'm sorry to hear that, bro. Yeah, today I'm just trying to like it's just for funsies mostly. I am attempting to use an old CM Stormtrooper case, which is, you know, with all the glare and it's hard to see. I've taken all the panels off, not just for, you know, because you're installing shit, but I even took the wiring harness right here. That's for the front panel, the power buttons, the fans, the LEDs. Look at the fucking wires on this thing. So I don't think I'm gonna use this. I'll just use the like motherboard's power button, or I'll get one of those simple power buttons that, you know, you can plug in, and you know, it's got like a little like that. Get one of those or something, I don't know. That's a ridiculous amount of wires. So we got that. That's insane, right? Yeah, Koba's crazy. Like, that's too much friggin' wires, man. You know? And then, like, to get this out, you have to unscrew, like, literally everything on the front of this case. Like, this is where it technically goes, is the front. And it was, like, some things, there was a couple things hot glued. So, like, the USB 3.0 ports or plugs or whatever, they were hot glued and screwed. And then they, you know, obviously they can split, you know, to that one motherboard header plug. And then they split around some parts that were like pop riveted. And it was just, I don't think I want that back in there at all. Which one do I want to use for the CPU? Maybe this one. I'm going to put this to CPU fan 1. So the fan closest to the inlet outlet, which is on this side, I'll just plug that to the motherboard. So the motherboard doesn't bitch at me, because the actual plug that comes from this, I'm going to plug it in. Well, it's already plugged into the AIO. Sometimes these motherboards get kind of mad when you don't have a fan hooked up to the CPU thing. And then on this side, I will do the other one, because sometimes these AIOs bitch at you when you don't have at least one fan plugged in. So I'm going to plug that in over here. Hopefully we can fucking tuck all this shit away. Okay, I think I'm ready for the power supply. But to do that, gotta do what you gotta do, yeah. Take too much space, less wires better. Oh yeah, man. I already have, like, you know, every now and then when I take my time, I can do pretty good wire management sometimes. But I already do a bad enough job with wire management that less wires will definitely benefit me a lot. So let's see, let's get this. Let's kind of untangle some of this stuff. Okay. Alright, maybe I'll do it this way so we can get this out of the way. Alright, let's go ahead and unmount this unruly bastard. So what's up, Prime? You've been doing any, I think I saw you streamed not too long ago. I don't know if that was, if you've been streaming a lot or what, because I can never tell. Usually if I'm fucking around with Twitch, usually I'm like doing a stream and I can barely tell if my shit is running right. I don't know what's up with Twitch these days. Like I have like I have noticed like my notifications do not go out hardly like half the time. Look at this. This is one of the OG 80 plus gold Seasonics right here, man. This is a beast. And so with this case, this is the Cooler Master what is it? The hafxb, I think. But it's like a box style case. It's meant to be a horizontal laying motherboard setup, but technically you can stand it up if you want. It's pretty balanced, and so it has this power supply kind of mounting where it's kind of offset for like when you use like I guess longer or full size power supplies. And this thing's been through war, man. This has been through war, this poor power supply here. It is the X series. It's a 1250 watt. But it's older. Like one of the very early 80 plus gold power supplies. And because of that, you just never know. This thing may be on its last leg. I don't know. So far, it handled a 5070 Ti through some testings. It has handled a 1080 Ti. Back in the day, I even put up to a 3090 Ti on this with the adapter. But I wouldn't do that now. It's one of those EVGA For the Win 3 Ultra 3090s Ti's, and you know, that thing can pull some power, man. So I would be scared to do something like that. I definitely wouldn't do a 4090 or 5090 on this poor thing, just because that's too much money to be experimenting. But it's got like this gold black kind of two-tone whatever, and then it came from the factory like this, like dinged. That's from the day I got it, so I don't know, whatever. Oblivion, oh yeah, Oblivion remaster is awesome. Stream that. Oh, okay, man. Hey, I appreciate you coming by. Definitely. All right. Yeah, I'll try to make sure I keep a lookout for your streams a little more. I can't wait to like play it cleanly. I've only played it a little bit and streamed it like maybe once or twice. But then I want to mod it as well, because I'm a little crazy when I like to mod the games a lot. So there's this case ready. I'm gonna use this for kind of like an older setup for some specific things I want to do in the house here. Set it up for the kiddos basically. Put like maybe Steam OS on that. Hopefully they're less likely to, you know, break. Like if it's not Windows, hopefully they won't break it as easy by pressing like 5,000 buttons on the keyboard. All right, Bean Prime, man. Thanks so much. Optimus Prime Bean. Appreciate it, dude. Oh yeah, you like that power supply? Yeah, man. This is probably one of my all-time favorite power supplies. You know, don't get me wrong. There's like even older, definitely some crazy beefy OEM style power supplies out there that like retro PC enthusiasts show off on their YouTube sometime. But as far as like the more modern early modular power supplies and stuff, this is a really cool thing. This is like Jay's 2 cents says, this is the ketchup and mustard cables with a little bit of relish because of that green wire there. But I think it looks nice, man. Heavy bastard too, man. Seasonic made good power supplies so far in my experience. It's been really good stuff. All the way back to those, all the way up to their current stuff. I've had pretty good luck with them. Though you never know, everything, you can always end up with something screwed up. Alright, I think we're gonna do bottom facing for the cool air to come from the bottom here. Not sure. Alright, now. Guess I'll use these. Let's get some screws here. There's so much room in this case. Technically, if I wanted, I could do the fan on the inside of the case. What bothers me is I'm using liquid cooling, and also, what if a screw or something falls off and it goes right in? So I'm gonna do bottom facing. I think it's safer. Okay, just protect that sticker there. Oh, got plenty of wires here. See, I don't need the wires from the case. I got plenty already. Fuck's sake. So it's modular, so I can definitely remove extra cables if I wanted. But for this specific build, I'm going to use a good bit of them, and then maybe I'll remove them. Maybe not. Depends on how often I plan on like testing. I like to keep as many of the cables accessible with this actual power supply and motherboard, because this one I'm going to be trading out a lot of different GPUs for like testing. I want to see I want to do like, you know, 1080 Ti's and SLI versus 5070, something like that, like, you know. And I don't want to have to go looking for all my cables. And that's part of the reason I took that front panel wire mess off, because I won't use that pretty much at all for this build. Pick camera. Am I dropping frames again? Oh, good. All right, today we've had minimal frame drops, though I think we have had some like lag and stuff, and a couple audio issues today. But at least as far as like frame drops, I think that's getting sorted. So now all I gotta do is look into maybe working on my audio, maybe work on my bit rate and things like that, see if I can get a smoother lag-free stream. This is gonna be a little bit crazy. Oh, these lights suck, dude. Oh man. Let me get this out of the way. Scooch this over. Maybe see if we can get this there. Just kind of like angle it. Hopefully a little less glare. Let's go through what we got here. We got PCI, boop, and this is also PCI. So this one I'm not going to use because this one will be for the motherboard. There's a place for extra power to go to the PCI slots. And then got two right here. And these are coming from, you know, they look like they're attached. They're just, they just kind of mount attached, but they're their own separate PCI ports on the power supply. So there's two there for the GPUs. And I should have two more here somewhere. Where is it? Yep, right here. So that gives me four 8-pin PCI power cables. So that's enough for two 1080 Ti's and SLI, and it's enough if I'm brave enough to go all the way up to an adapter for like a 4090 or a 5090 or a 3090 Ti. I don't know if I'm brave enough for the 4090 and 5090, but maybe the 3090 Ti. Maybe no, I don't think I'm brave enough for that either. This is CPU. Here's a bunch of peripheral shite. That's CPU, motherboard. Keep those like that. But I was hoping to get this done super fast, but that's not going to happen. Because what I wanted was to test Doom Dark Ages on the 5070. But that's, yeah, that'll be some other time. Probably not today. And then, you know, also to see if Doom Dark Ages could run on a 1080 Ti. I don't know if it can because of the ray tracing stuff that it requires. So, I don't know. Maybe it runs on one. Maybe it doesn't. I don't know. But it would be cool to try out. Oh yeah. Okay. why. I don't know if I'm getting arthritis or what, but my freaking hands are aching today. Must be all these like kind of like twists and turns and crap you gotta do when you mess with these things. Alright, now will these reach? So motherboard 1 will reach, that's no problem. So let's kind of, but these may not reach. I mean, they will, but do I want... Oh wait, actually I forgot. This motherboard, the CPU stuff is right here. So, hold on. You know what? I did this wrong. Such a fucking tight kind of fit here. Probably gonna have to come from this side, plug it in. This does not fit without it kind of jamming into the motherboard a little too much. Alright, so both of these, or all three of these, will come out here and then come back in this way. So that's fine. So let me lay it down. All right, so it's kind of hard to see. Just shite. Now, do we need to... Now, we'll keep this parallel. And then see what we could do about all these. CPU cables. I feel like I'm fucking combing Medusa's hair right now. That's what it feels like. The fuck, dude? This is, what is this? PCI. Perfect, perfect. Just keep those over here. Okay. Okay, so this one will be the bottom one. It's the shorter of the two. Good thing I didn't run these before putting in the motherboard, because they'll go through and the motherboard will mount. But then like when you go to like uninstall it, you're like pretty screwed. Okay, so there's that. And then this, and then this. Now we can lay it down. be able to plug directly into the motherboard on this build. On the other one I had to use that 90-degree adapter for the 24 pin. Yo, over on Kick, what is up? Rishi, thanks for coming by. Appreciate it. Yeah, you got viewers and they're free, send them my way, man. If you're trying to get me to pay for viewers, no thank you. I don't know why there's so many advertisements to pay for viewers. Like, what is up with that shit? I mean, either way, it is nice that they came by, that's for sure. A view is a view, my dude. Even if you're advertising, I don't know if that'd probably be considered sketchy services. Okay, now to run the, so I have, it's just going to be a simple SSD that I want to be able to like switch these out easily, probably. I'll probably just lay it down in the cabin of the case for the test part. Because it's actually probably good that I did the... Hi, buddy. It's probably pretty good that I took those out, because I need it to like come through here to be able to plug into this motherboard. So these don't necessarily work with those in the way. So that'll probably help me make the decision already that I'm going to really work hard to find that front panel piece that allows me to mount my own fans instead of having to use these. I might be able to do one of these at the bottom. Let's see. So then I would just have to decide like which way that we're gonna go with this thing, because the way these work, and the glare is pretty brutal right now, my apologies, but you use these panels if you're going to use the hard drive, because my son is awake. So this is a back and a top. So if you want it, the airflow to go this way, and you want to mount your hard drives, you know, from front to back, then you put your panels like this. You know, and then you can put, so with these panels in place, then you slide these in and out. And let me see, it says top that way. Well, why wouldn't you put the wires? Okay, hold on, maybe I got the wrong one. Let me see. Let's see, no. Well, I put them upside down anyway. So I would put the wires to the back, even though it's telling me to do something else. And so that's how that fits in there. And that's why if you use their stuff for the hard drive cages, you only get two 120s. right? And then if you need this extra space for your wires like I did, you're not able to do both of them. So you would only be maybe the bottom. But these do allow you to set them up. Like if you want, you can have like, oh shit, if I could, can't see with all the glare. You can do them this way as well. I don't know if I can show it. Yeah, I don't have space. But anyway, you can do it that way. I'll show you with the bottom one. The way that works is you put these like that. This, and then top, and then, you know, put it in like that, and then you can get to your hard drives from the back panel, you know, for your hot swap or whatever. And then the fan basically is only for your hard drives. You know, maybe there's a little bit that bleeds out, but it would just mainly cool the hard drives only. Whoa, that's cool looking. Look at that. That is weird when fans do that on camera. Start going backwards. Do decisions. Yeah, I really feel like I want to find that panel and or zip tie it, whichever, but I want to find that panel so I can I'll just mount some regular 120s up there, or maybe 140s, who knows. Yeah, let's do that. I don't want to put these things in there. It's just more cable and wires for something I'm not going to use. I'm not going to load this up with hard drives. If I was using it as my server, then yeah, maybe, because then I can like keep those things cool. But it's mainly going to be for GPU testing is what this is going to be. Hey, bud. Oh, wow. That's going to burn you. That's hot. That's spicy. My son brought me this. He wants me to die on camera, I guess. He wants me to go out like a hero. Oh, what do you got there? Yeah, no, Dada needs that sometimes. Here, I'll give you one piece. There you go. You take that to mommy. Be careful. Oh! What is it? Here, you want to say hi to everybody? Say hi.
Hi.
Hi. Hi. Oh, that's my nerd light. That's for when Daddy does all these things that he can't see with his eyes. Whoa. Okay. We may be coming to the end here. If my son has anything to say about it. What's all this? Yeah, that's dangerous. You don't play with that. That's for electricity stuff. Yeah. You stay. I think it's kind of good to go. No, don't bother that.
Papa, be faster.
Oh, what is that? Is that a doggy? Come on, let's go tell Muffy be quiet. Fee. Fee. Oh man, he did. He almost juked me out there. Let's see, keep those open. Let's double check this stuff. I think we can go a little tighter on the cooler here. That should be fine. I'm using a graphite sheet instead of thermal paste on this. And it's a cheap one. It's not even like the thermal Grizzly ones. It's not one of those Honeywell phase change pads. It's just a cheap, I don't remember the brand, but a cheap $14 2-pack, or is it a 3-pack? But like $12 to $14. And last we were checking, it was doing pretty good, man. Okay, so this one I don't need. We will wrap it up like right there. And then this one goes right there. Actually, maybe these can go to the back. And then we keep all of these. These can stay out here. These are the ones I will use for the GPUs. Gotta hurry before Junior gets mad again. Let's pop these to the back. To the back cave. Bless you. Zoom tight. And more. And more. No, don't bother those. I need those screws, buddy. Because that's what I need. I need those. Huh? No, don't push those buttons. Some of those buttons are to end stream. That would be tragic. I guess I'm gonna have to let him push the stop the stream button when I'm done today. Or maybe I shouldn't, because then it would just, you know, make him want to do it more in the future. Maybe I shouldn't teach him that. That might be bad. Okay, hold on. So let's see here. This is for the pump. It's kind of dark. But anyway, it's plugging in the AIO SATA power cable here for the the old NZXT scammy liquid cooler. And no, I did not rent it. I bought it. Here's the back. So you can see it's kind of strange. The EVGA X570 Dark, because everything's rotated. So it's kind of parallel there. You know? Kind of weird. Kind of a layout there. This can go this way. And then because the power plugs, the what are they called? EPS, the CPU power plugs, they're on this side of the motherboard instead of up here. And so you don't have to like run, you don't have to run a cable up here. You run the power supply cable right there instead. Alright, so when I test something on this build, I guess I could lay it down under the camera here maybe. Kind of line it up a little better. And so you can kind of, you know, you can see what I'm working with, I guess. And then I can also have like a, it's hard to see, I'll have to figure that out, but the kilowatt, we can see how much power it's pulling. Right there. Put the kilowatt there. Can you even see that? A little bit, a little bit. I'll try to figure a spot for it. It's just, it's not backlit. This is, I think they make some that are backlit and they're easier to see. Anyway, that's later. And then just for now, let's go ahead and slap in. Just wonder which thing I should use here. Let's go ahead and, so there's the PCI port for the motherboard, and then I should probably tape that up so it doesn't accidentally get something in there and short out the whole power supply. Let's throw the which one is this? This is the EVGA 1080 Ti. It's a reference, so they all, you know, pretty much look the same, the reference version. Or was it called reference or founders edition back then? I actually don't remember. Let me see. What do the numbers here say? 10. ADTI. Well, whatever it was. Some of them actually had reference/founders models by other brands. So that's kind of interesting. And I thought it would be cool because I have two different ones here. So that is a EVGA reference 1080 Ti. And then here I have an NVIDIA 1080 Ti. So basically the same card, except for whatever EVGA may have done differently to like the firmware BIOS, or who knows, maybe they did a couple things here or there. So I would be curious to like test them to see if they score differently. I think that's what I'm going to do with this build first, is we're going to compare two different reference GPUs. Okay, let me throw in some thumb screws in this bad boy. Where's my screwdriver? I think this is what we had in it most recently. I went from a 5070 Ti that I just tested a little bit, and then I threw this one back in. So we could test this one. Maybe just make sure this thing is running. Do that. But then we can always also try out a 5070. We could also try out the 5070 plus a 1080 Ti for like some of the older 32-bit physics games, to see if that helps a lot. Which spoiler alert, people have already tested that. It does, but I'd like to test it for myself. I think that'd be fun. Pop one of these. Excuse me? Oh, of course. It goes like this. So put that there. And we take one of our SATA power cables. Guess we'll use this longer one here. Down. Okay, let's put our screen here. Is this the right one? Where's the yeah, this goes to this. Don't want to mix these up here. Where the fuck? Oh, there it is. just putting these screens on. Almost ready to fire it up, see if we borked anything or not. Now, something I discovered for any new lurkers that I discovered with this motherboard, it does not like DisplayPort. For like, if you change anything about it and you want to boot up with DisplayPort plugged into your GPU, it doesn't like that. It'll tell you no. It will absolutely 100% say no thank you. So I ripped this thing apart trying to figure out what was wrong with it not booting when I put it in that other case recently. And all the shit that I did, and the actual only problem that I needed to change, and no, those were all good DisplayPort cables, I just had to use a HDMI. So unless I've done something else screwy to this poor thing, we should not have that problem this time. Okay. Let me make sure I don't have the hybrid. Oh, where is that thing? I don't want hybrid cooling on, but I can't even find it. Whatever. Screw it. I don't want to dig around for it. Okay, so 24 pin. We have that. The motherboard power. We got the 2 CPU powers. We've got PCI for our GPU. GPU is mounted in pretty good and solid. We've got our SSD on SATA 1 or 2, whatever that happens to be. Got power for it. We got coolers hooked up. Fans are plugged in. Got the USB for that. Let's get this stuff kind of out of the way because kind of worried that's going to get screwed up. What the hell was that? Oh, it's food time. Okay, so I'm gonna flip. I'm gonna plug in the power supply and then flip that switch. Let's see, where did I put my power supply plug? Where did I put it at? It's not over there, right? Ah, here it is. Okay, let's see about. I don't know. Let me make this tall. And then we need to do this. Got it set to watts. That's just the easiest for my brain to understand. Okay, so let's see what kind of watts we get on the first flip. I got a little bit of glare there. Not sure if you guys can see. Maybe if I turn the light Brightness down. Well, I'll just have to read it for you. So first flip and we hit 10 watts. And then at its, you know, kind of doing nothing. It's just idling at 3 watts. Okay. Now, we have a power button on the motherboard. As long as I didn't bork anything, that should work. And then for like the Steam stuff, like a lot of that I have on an external hard drive, so this is going to plug into the USB-C on the back of the motherboard here. That's going to be for us to have access to, you know, maybe some games or whatever tests stuff that we're going to use. And then it is food time in the Jones house, so as soon as I turn this on, I'll see if I can get a test going and we'll just let it run. And then I'll come back after eating. Let's see what's up. Alright, where's the power button? See if we can get into BIOS. If we get any crazy beeps, we'll have to sort that out after food. Alright. Now, how do I share this? I know I have one of these somewhere. So this one? Oh my god, that's tiny. Okay, we don't. Hold on, folks. That's not what I intended. Hold on. Maybe over in this. Oh no! Damn it! I misclicked fat finger. All right, let's see what the BIOS is reporting. Okay, it has everything the way we left it from the last setup. So last setup we had a XMP, I believe it was XMP2 for the RAM, which gave us 4,000 megahertz on the RAM there. Yeah, there we go. So XMP2 gives us 4,000 mega transfers on the RAM at a CL18 basically, and the target voltage, I guess the target is 1.45, but it's actually pulling about 1.47. Not sure why that happened, but whatever. That's what that is. Our CPU, which, what are the stock speeds? Stock speeds, I think stock is something stupid like 3.4. So we're overclocked to about 4.4 gigahertz. Temperature right now is about 47 degrees. CPU V-core about 1.2. It's damn near right on 1.3. But those little bits do matter on CPUs sometimes. So it's actually the highest it hits right now is 1.297. Let's do a little stress testing. This motherboard has built-in stress test. So let's see how the temperatures do on that. And we were at 140s on the idles, but right now we're doing 300-ish watts just from stress testing the CPU. Just that. Food? Okay, I'll be right there. Okay. Okay, where's my charger? Alright, and that is probably going to be break time for me. Let me see. I think I'll go ahead and off screen here, I'll boot into the OS in case some stupid stuff tries to pop up that has my info on it, and then I can just let like maybe 3D Mark run or something while I'm gone. So CPU temperature hits 83 during this testing. Maybe it goes higher if I leave it running, but it's kind of, oh, it hit 84. So we'll stop that. We were at 1.224 in the thing. No, I don't believe that. Okay. Okay, I'm very happy that it didn't have any major issues there. So let's see if the OS will boot up. Sometimes major issues happens in Windows. Okay. Oh, let me fix this. Got the liquid stuff. That is not correct. Why is it doing that? Triple. Primary is CPU temperature. And then liquid and GPU. Wait, the primary monitoring GPU could not be found. Oh, alright, whatever. Liquid, and then GPU, right? Maybe. Okay, where is my mini mode? Oh man, bear with me guys, sorry. How do you save it? Settings. Mini mode. Enable. Launch. Liquid, which is fine. Yeah, it's not reading. Alright, cool. CPU, liquid, this. Wait, actually, we want to see if we can keep that on top. Let me check it out. Mini mode. Always on top. Yes. Perfect. Oh gosh, what happened? We dropped so many frames just now. Why? Interesting. Look at all this shit. That was fucking